Hello guys, welcome to this week's video. This is going to be something slightly different. Well, I'm going to go into an in-depth feel into what I really think of the Canon M50 Mark II. This is a new addition to the family of cameras that we have here at TVR Creators. And do not go anywhere, because we're going to go into lots of detail why I like this camera, why this camera could be a camera for you, and so much more. So do not go anywhere. And if this is your first time here, I'm Dave from TVR Creators, and I make weekly content on the best cameras for content creators, YouTubers and hobbyists. If that sounds interesting to you, don't forget to like and subscribe. So why do I like the Canon M50 Mark II? Now, some of you that have been here before, you may know I've talked a lot about the M50 and the M50 Mark II, but I just like this particular version and I just want to share with you. And now the R50's out, a little power tip actually, now the R50's out, you can get some great deals on renewed or second-hand or even new M50s, so it's a great time to buy this little camera. And I would say, even in the time of this video, I would say that the M50 Mark II is still a great camera for YouTube, because it does still take fantastic video in both HD and 4K. It has a clean HDMI, which means technically you can use it for live streaming, so use it like a webcam. The easy way to do that is download the Canon app and you can connect it with USB or HDMI, whatever's easier for you. And what I like about this, it does come with a kit lens, which is a 15 to 45mm, which you can see there. It's a really nice little lens, and I've used this lens or similar versions because I've got this lens about 3 or 4 times over now with different cameras that we've got. And I think it's perfectly fine for taking really nice photos. We actually use the same lens on our M100, which we use to take pictures for our thumbnails. And it does take really nice pictures. And I've used the M50 now, the one I'm using actually to record this video, for about 3 or 4 years, since about 2019. And it is a really good camera, and I've used it outside, I've used it indoors, I've used it in all different conditions, and it's just a brilliant camera. And what's really nice about this, you've got the microphone jack, which you should be able to see there, and you can connect an external microphone, even a clip-on mic or a shotgun mic, which I've got now on top of this camera, and that's a really good way to improve your audio, especially if you're outside. You don't get that annoying noise on the camera, which is really annoying, especially if it's a bit windy. So it's something to bear in mind when you're outdoor with filming. And just, and even in low light, I have seen different opinions on this, but I've filmed in quite low light or cloudy light outside, and it has filmed and performed perfectly. And this is just a great little camera. Now, photo wise, you do have an attachment on top, so you can add an additional flash. I use that for our microphone jack, for our microphone clip-on. It does have a really nice viewfinder, so you can look in there and you can see, and it finds the objects and you see exactly what you're taking pictures of or filming if you want to. I personally prefer the really nice touch screen, which does turn all the way around, which is really nice. Very intuitive, easy to use interface, which is really easy to use. Even if, when I first started using this camera, I was like, oh, actually, this is not bad. And you can always YouTube if you're not quite sure, watch one of these videos if you're not quite sure how to do it. I'll see if I can zoom in for you, and if you can see that. And there, if I just click menu, you can just see there, and you can see all the different attachments on the screen. And literally just by pressing, see if I can do this now, by that button there, you can just flip between the menus, and it's very easy to change your settings, your shutter speed. You can set timers if you're taking photos and that sort of thing. So as you can see, it's just really easy to use, and we love this. A little power tip actually, before you attach the microphone, I recommend you turn the screen facing you, especially if you're filming yourself, then attach the microphone, plug it in the mic, plug on top, etc., and off you go. A little power tip, I sometimes forget to turn my microphone on, which I have done, so I always do a little test video. But actually we've started using the Rode microphone, which actually takes the power source from the camera. This is something we've actually got with this camera today. I might be able to show you that later in the video, which is really cool. But why else do I like about this camera there? Easy to use settings. Let's look at some of them. So on the top there, easy on and off button. You can change onto auto if that's easier for you, onto film mode, onto manual, all the different zones. Obviously you can do high focus on further away objects, panning shots, all that sort of jazz. Obviously to change the lens, see that little button there, you press that, you just screw off the lens, gently comes off, and being careful because don't want to damage the lens. Off you go. Before it will start working, you just have to click the button on the top, wait for the little nice click. Oh, I love that sound, really like that sound on the camera. If you're getting value so far from this video, do not go anywhere, like and subscribe. Feel free to check out our merch or buy us a coffee, link to all that in the description below. If you've got any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments actually, and I'll do my best to answer them. What comes in the bag then, if you buy this new or second hand, we actually got a few more features with this, because we actually bought this second hand, but if you buy it new, you'll get a battery, you'll get a strap that just connects on the side there, so you can hang it off your neck if you want to. What else you get? Obviously you get the charger, the battery, and you'll get the box and the manual. And I do recommend a bag for this. I do recommend a spare battery. We actually have 4 or 5 batteries now because we've got quite a few little Canons. And they're fairly cheap, to be fair. I recommend the Canon brand, but if not, just get what you can. And to basically take that out, you basically just hit the panel on the bottom, take out the battery, and that's also where the SD card goes. We highly recommend a nice SD card of 64, 128 gigabytes. Try and get an extreme card because it does perform, it saves the data more quickly, so when you're transferring data it's quicker. And also if you're just doing like faster frames per second, higher definition, perhaps playing around 4K, it will perform better if you've got a better SD card. So that's something else to think about when buying all your gear. How I would recommend this compared to the old M50, well, I'll be brutally honest, they're very similar, apart from this one actually has a clean HDMI, which I know I did mention earlier, which basically just means you can plug it in like a webcam and it doesn't come up with all the settings that the M50 did. It was a bit more difficult to set that up. Why I like this camera then, being brutally honest, transparent, or I can't even say that word. It's easy to use, it's light, it's not too big. When I first got the first M50 I was a bit like, oh, that's a bit small, but actually I love it. Get yourself a nice decent tripod, press record. So what are you waiting for? Play around with this camera, go and check it out. Link to this will be in the description. If you got value from today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I would just say, if you do get this camera, or if you got this camera, just play around with it, enjoy it, and the more you use it, the better you will get. In a moment, I'm going to leave you 2 end cards. I'm going to bring you even more value. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you next time.